Hello, Super Robot fans. Welcome back to this episode of the Super Robot Wars Archives. We are going to be continuing our playthrough of Alpha today. We are going to be starting chapter number 12. Oh yeah, right. Chapter number 12, A Man of Ambitions. I want to try and say, like, map names. I just, at the very least, for me to get familiar with them, but so we can, like, start talking about maps specifically. We just wrapped up scenario number 11, Gundam Theft, where we fought off a contingent of Zeon soldiers, where they had recently stolen the GPO-2, the Gundam that is armed with a nuclear bazooka. And in the meantime, we have acquired the principal cast of 0083 and Dan Cougar. Could not think of Dan Cougar. We ended last time. I sort of got lost in the sauce of talking about story, so I forgot to mention that, A, we put the plus 30 accuracy on Emma. I think I know what I said about, like, shoring up the weaknesses of characters who are like, just okay in the past, but I think in this case, plus 30 is enough to jump her into the consistency we're seeing out of the rest of our reels right now. And we have also switched her and Mancha in the units that they are piloting. The Rick Diaz by default has 90 mobility, whereas the Gym Custom has 100. And it also has it's 65 now because we had the plus 30, but it has plus 35 accuracy on its best weapon normally, whereas the Rick Diaz has plus 0. So I think this is going to give Emma a lot better shot at, like, actually getting participated in combat. She does lose out on 1 point of range, but I'd rather have her land hits than being able to, like, gamble on a hit that's further away. You know? Okay, that wraps things up for us. Oh, okay. I mean, I'm a little disappointed that just popped up like that. I would have liked to have been surprised that the Majin Kaiser was in this game. Okay, well, that's fine. Wouldn't that be the biggest troll if they just put, like, robots that have existed in these games in the past on the background, but not actually put them in the game? That would be really funny. So it looks like it was not just me who clocked that Shapiro was maybe not the greatest of newses. He's not, you know what I mean. Shinobu, the Dan Cougar main character, the guy on the right here, he also acknowledges that Shapiro is, like, kind of a jerk. And then we start talking about the irrigators a little bit more, and then Shinobu wants to, like, look at the data with us. And he observes that the Grungust is somewhat similar to the alien technology, but is maybe not exactly, it seems based off of. At the same time, he also acknowledges that we are sort of paired with him, that we are young, but not that much younger than he is. So we're establishing sort of this, like, I talk a lot in these plots. I think I mentioned a couple times in playing these games that peers are seldom present in a lot of stories, especially in things like anime and manga. We really like to remove peers from women, especially, but, you know, a lot of men also suffer from the only way they can see mutuality is through rivalry. And, like, rivalries are great. They're important storytelling devices, but a rival is not always necessarily a peer. You can have rivalry with a peer, but the constant one for, like, combativeness, for antagonism, can also be exhausting. So maybe we will see some, like, some more cooperation between him, Brooklyn, and Shinobu, because he's already stuck his neck out for Ko. So he does seem want to found a lot of fraternal friendships. In the middle of this, he also is talking about some, like, more philosophy about, like, how and why things are happening. He notes that that of all these, like, projects that are designed to combat aliens, they are kind of small comparatively because the alien forces have been observing the planet now for multiple years. And that has, like, allowed them to amass an entire, like, armed, like, national force, as opposed to a couple of, like, small robots. right? And five or six robots are not going to cut it. I think part of this is going to be biased by the fact that he pilots the Don Cougar and how it is, but also part of it is like very informative of what I was talking about a couple of episodes ago with the Psybuster being magic and that magic radiating something similar to human life. That Shinobu is of the impression that the best way to combat the aliens is to use something that is wholly terrestrial based, which is how Don Cougar works, that it draws on the latent like animal instincts of the person who is piloting it, as opposed to relying on like alien machine technology to try and fight alien machine technology, that it is something like distant and separate from personhood. And that is like antithetical to the one to like defend like humanity and personhood, which I think is all that follows with what we've sort of already been exploring with what this game is trying to say. And it makes sense to me that the Don Cougar would be like that, like very basic symbology to do like a very brief Austin's art examination. That like they all change into animals, and one of the like core symbols for metaphor with like humans is to describe things like in ways that are animalistic, as if that is somehow more natural or like more core in a way. So to present the like animal robots as being somehow more human, feels fitting with like general symbology, but we're also sort of doing this like triangle of like machine, animal, human, of like the three different ways we can see form on the planet, as opposed to like the fourth option that is alien. I still really want us to have conversations about like what does it mean to be alien. I don't know if we're gonna get them in this game, but we'll see. We've set it up really well to make that a possibility by how we are talking about the value of like human life. Fortunately, this time we do in fact have a lot more story we could talk about, so we will get to talk about that while we're go through the rest of the scenario. Do we want to deploy Mancha? I mean, he's a higher level than most of our pilots, I guess. Core Fighter, the rest of the Don Cougars. So one of the things is we're not going to get to deploy Sarah in this map. Her robot was too far damaged from the last fight. Or so the story goes. Shinobu is doubtful of that. It seems like Sarah and Shapiro sort of have something going on. I don't know how much the game gets into it, but I'm fairly confident that they might be romantically entwined based on the like from the original, from the series of Origin. I don't know how much it explores that here, but I do remember that to be the case, I think. Okay, so maybe we don't deploy Mancha. Instead, we get... It's wild that Camille's only level 10. I think we need to take Camille in, and I do want to take Duo. We're kind of soft using him. Yeah, who else are we not taking? Roberto, not Apoli, not Boss, not Koji, not Sayaka. Yeah. Okay. I think that's probably fine. Okay. Oh, yes. I'm so glad she's here. So, we have two objectives this map. We need to take down... oh, who is this? August? Yeah, I don't know who that... I don't remember who that is. We need to shoot down, Seema. She's only in a Gelgoog. She's in the Gelgoog M, though? She does have a custom Gelgoog. It's colored yellow. I wonder if we'll see that later in this game. I'm worried how hard of a boss this is going to be, seeing as like we accidentally destroyed a Gelgoog last time we tried to fight one. But taking her out is an expert point, and then shooting down... Where am I? Tab for this? Shooting down the GPO2 will also be an expert point, so it's going to be here at some point, theoretically. We do have to kill them this time. My expert points do not say whether they're going to retreat or not. But maybe we should, I may need to act like they do. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I mean, we do have the other Gelgoog. I think these are either Gelgoog Yagids. I think the M is supposed to be marine, but I'm pretty sure the marine does have a different color to it. Yeah, we'll see. I do like our unit diversity. We have like a couple of different... We theoretically need to like actually think about how we're engaging them. Having DOMs be able to just like cover the water really easily feels very obnoxious in a very good way. Okay. Did we not... Did I forget to get the other foot in here, or are both the feet just out of commission for this fight? Because I'm only seeing the Big Moth and the Eagle Fighter, and not either the Land Cougar or the Land Liger. And I would like to have the Land Liger in here just because of how much better the... Oh, how much better they are. It looks like we can go into animal mode probably at a morale threshold. That's why they didn't like tell us. Okay. That's good to know. That's good to know. Otherwise, I don't have a turn count on this stage. Just like don't let all of your allies or the mothership die. Okay. So we're gonna end up having enemies here, here, and here. Let's see if we have a scan somewhere. That's not it. Did we bring no one that had scanned? Oh no, we do. It's just in a really weird place on the map. Okay. Rekua, give us one of them. You have a 1 range post movement, and they are your worst attacks. So we do want someone sitting at this like hook here. They need to be at the hook, right? Yeah, they're not getting to the hook. Okay. If we can help it, it should be these guys. Seeing as they have the most to gain from getting morale, if they can switch into a mode that like actually really seriously does damage. I guess we can put the Grungust here, seeing as it has not seen combat in a long while. Oh, right, yeah, and then we just need to have them, like sitting theoretically, or not theoretically, we have to have them sitting parallel to each other. Okay, so I think we'll just go back into Jet, right? That is... Oh, no. Isn't the robot mode the same? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So it's just whatever of these has better attack. Oh, but wasn't our accuracy... Our accuracy was better in the air. Yeah, because it has an A in the air. Okay, so we will stay in fighter mode. That's fine. And we could theoretically... We could put the Combattler there, which should be fine, but let me see if we can get the Jet. We can see if we get the Getter over there instead. Because we can go here, and this is 1, 2, 3. We could combine into the Getter 2 and stand there if we have Excel. We do not have Excel. Okay, we can get close. So maybe instead we will try and get ready for these Zaku. Right, we could get someone on this tile. Yeah, it's the one between the two land. It's like the one that's between the two landmasses that's like actually perfectly in the water. Oh no, in fact, we can't get even close to that. Okay. Okay, what about this one is also perfectly between the water. Okay, that's not bad. We can go here, 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 maybe. So can you hit... You can hit that corner. How about the Getter 3? No, you cannot, but you can get in the water. Let's see, is that different? That is actually considerably different. That's actually a lot. That is a lot more movement. So we do kind of get to do what I wanted to do with the Combattler here with the Getters. which I know we have been doing up till this point. It just... Yeah, okay. We could be one space forward, like here with the Getter 2, or at that little, like, corner of sand, but I would rather have the Combattler 3 in the water. Yeah, okay. Also, I think I was incorrect before about how to use these. I'm going to show... I'll like, try and talk through it right now. Seeing as we, like, can't get a lot of extra movement out of these forms, at least right now, instead, what we probably should be doing is just, like, forcing all of these forward with as much attack as possible. Like, go forward, attack with something post-movement. And then just do so in a straight line, like get like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So odds are we're going to be like basing it off of wherever the tank is, and then being able to recombine into the head after that, and then still take the regular turn, rather than doing what we were doing with the Getter, where we're moving the third one. We're moving the third piece out, and then not actually getting to take a turn with that robot. Okay, so if we put somebody here and here, that's wild that that's not a forest space. They could get attacked by these other ones too. So we actually probably should have put like the Grungust here if we could have helped it, or like the Combattler here if we had helped it. But that's fine. Oh boy, y'all are like really locked up in here. Like again, I would have done some different movement, or I would have done some different placement had I known where all these were going. Oh no, okay, no, we have the land Liger here. We're gonna put these in the battleship. And we'll start flying it over, but we need to move it first. Okay, so we can position Emma. We'll put her here to be able to counterattack next turn. We can move the Argama to this position. It's not full moving, but that's okay. We can still get the rest of them all to board. And then next turn, we can have it fly over and then deploy forward most of those mobile suits. Let's get Duo over here too so he can follow up on it. Are you still in the regular one? Yeah, okay, you're not in the high mobility type yet. Oh, but we can separate out. Okay, that's fun. We'll have to look at that at some point. That, technically, this Gundam does have a core fighter to it, so being able to separate into the core fighter should theoretically be a feature. I wonder if it's also a snap-off option, that, like, if we lose the GPO-1, will it turn into its core fighter, or whatever? There's probably a more specific name for it that I can't remember. But it also, like, it certainly can't combine. It's going to be more like the Mazinger, where we, like, lobotomize ourselves. All right, what do we got? Is the GPO2 going to show up now? Yeah, there it is. Okay, cool. It probably won't be that big of a deal. We're all spooked by it because it's, like, a big threat. Why are you here? What are you doing with this? You know the drill. One of them are moving. That's a bummer. Oh, no, that's right. We didn't set up for the Zaku's. We did set up for the Doms. Oh, that's lame. Okay. Okay. Let's see what we can actually accomplish here. Nothing much yet. So maybe we... Sending everything in when nothing moved forward feels a lot more risky, but we can see how many of these Rictiuses we can take out. Okay, where are everything landing? You're going here. Yeah, if you were here, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it's 1, because of how it forces you to separate, the battle tank is one space away from being able to use its post movement attack, or it's not post movement attack, it's its missiles. Okay. Can any of them get close enough to do anything? I don't think so. I think all of their post movement attacks are like they have to be adjacent. Okay, that's a shame. Yeah, this feels like we could very easily get like ganged up on if we are not careful. Okay, what if we, that's not right. What if we separate? I know we said we have more story to talk about, but I want to make sure we don't die first. We need to have a good start, especially if we need to kill 2 bosses. Okay, right, so we can go here. You theoretically are the best because we've vaguely slightly upgraded here. Yeah, okay. That still probably won't do a ton of damage though. So probably not worth it. And not having an Excel yet here either kind of honks. Okay, we have a Tomahawk Boomerang. We just can't follow up on that though, so I don't know if that's I don't think that's a good play. Okay, they're above the water, so we don't have to worry about our C in the water. And we are a B in the water in this game, right? Yeah. Let's put a focus on, we might be close enough. Enemies are going to have to start moving. Surely they're not going to have 2 turns of no one moving. So let's put the focus on. That'll probably be enough for Duo. We've already seen his animations. Okay, good. They are pretty fragile. So we maybe can push this turn. We maybe can push this turn. Does the Grungust have enough? Yeah, that'll work. Oh, okay, but we did not kill. Okay, so maybe we do separate out with the getter. But if we separate, we won't get to use the 3rd one. We can just move. We can get the getter 3 close though. We could have we could have one of the jets here, one of the jets here, and then the getter 3 there. Yeah, let's see if we can set that up. Yeah, okay. The 3 can take... Oh, no, but the 3 can't take that one out because it has to combine. The 2 can get there. Okay, the 2 and the 1 can get to the positions that I said they could. So we can have the 1... finish something else off like this, like how the 2 is doing it. And then we can have the 3... finish the diagonal to recombine it to get a 3 underwater there. I think that's gonna be the right play. Okay, I think we can separate here now. Because now surely we can tag these. Yeah, it was last turn that we weren't able to. That's probably something. What level are all of these now that we've... Oh, we destroyed it already. I didn't get to look. Whoops. We'll use Rekkoa. Yeah, let's see before I throw my... If I throw a Battler piece away, this is very risky. Okay, level 14. You have 100 and... Okay, we definitely want to be engaging in melee if we can help it. Oh, and if we engage at 1 range, it has to be melee. That's useful. Can we get anyone that's not... So we can only attack with really 1 extra attack here. Which we should do if we can help, because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, we can't even do that. And still get to be able to reconnect to the main body. Yeah, so never mind. We're just fully out of position. That's fine. We'll just... I think we just move in and start smacking. I don't even think we don't even need to use any of the like dodging spirits, yeah, seeing as we have all of the extra armor on them. Okay, we can give this kill to Shinobu. Surely. I say surely, but that's 1100 power. That's what, 255? It's using range. So that's 25% more damage. So what's a quarter of a thousand is 250-ish. So what? It's like 1300 power. I don't remember how armor works in this game. Surely, it can't just be 1200 because that would cancel it out. I mean, I guess it could. It could just like ping and do 10. But I would prefer if Shinobu could attack like this one. But I think we're gonna have to figure that out based on what's happening with the Argama and all of the pals inside there. We do have a 4 range post movement on Keith. I don't think that's enough to hit anybody though. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So here's the trouble. Is we would like him to be... Oh, he can't even get in the Argama. I was going to say, we'd like him to be in the Argama so we can move forward, but I also kind of want to keep him around to be able to use the trusts if we need them. And those have to happen in different orders, because we're going to need to send, like... We're sending the Argama very forward. But it doesn't matter, because he couldn't actually get in there, so... This seems fine. We can easily solve it up with a battleship. And I like this position, because if things don't move, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 enemies in... Like, at worst, we have 6 enemies in a map attack range if no one moves. And I would say that's rather useful. Okay, Quattro can probably kill something on his own. He has shown that he's demonstrated that he is, like, particularly proficient. So, let's try and do this. Oh, never mind. I was very wrong. Yeah, I guess maybe they were, like, 900 armor before. I guess he's also down 10 morale. Okay, yeah. And we were up like, oh, okay, no, this is the end. There's actually a lot of changes. We were down 10 morale, so that was 5% less damage. We were 200 less power, and this beam rifle is also a B on land. He's so much more designed for space, and he was using the clay bazooka last time he killed stuff. So, okay, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. So, given that, let's play it safe. We'll start taking stuff out from the back. Oh, I guess we also put him right where we want Shinobu to go. No, Shinobu still is in action between these two. Can the getter... Okay, we can be here with the getter. Still, in case we want to put Shinobu at, like, the up... Like, move him up right here to attack this one. This is Emma, I believe. So I guess let's attack. Let's go here, because we want the kills on Shinobu the most. Yeah, this is why we saved Keith. We can heal her now. Actually, hold on. We can see if the Bethus can get to her. Oh, the Bethus can just get to her. Okay. We'll save that healing until afterwards to see where everything's landing. I think this should be enough now. Yeah, okay. That's good. We are at 107. I'm assuming it's probably going to be 120 where we are allowed to switch morale, or we're allowed to switch because of morale, but I'm not confident. Oh, this is not very good. I think we're still going to take it. We should have switched to human mode before we went in. Okay, but this one's probably fine. This can attack on land. We'll attack... Yeah, we'll go here. Not as good as I'd wanted, but we also are still kind of set up for a map attack, so that's fine. The core booster is also like kind of a serious unit somehow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, because like this is just free damage, and we're also down levels. Like that's wild. For being a support unit, that feels like it should be able to happen. Oh, we did block Emma in here because of how we positioned the land tiger. That's fine. I was sort of counting on using that anyway. Okay. But we already established that Keith can't actually hit anything from here, but we can at least get him like close for next turn. So I guess let's attack with the Getter Jet and see what damage that does. And then if we need the Methus to attack, we can to finish that kill. But ideally we... Oh, okay, that's a shame. Let's combine into the 3 before we forget and I accidentally try and like commit to this thing on its own little like project. But I don't think there's anybody that needs healing desperately, and like this should be lethal. Yeah, and I would rather take something off the board. Okay, cool. I feel like we could probably talk story. This is just going to be a block. That is the point of putting us in the water like this, that we can, we can waste a lot of enemy turns that we don't have good actions on yet. This, on the other hand, we will gladly fire back on. I think just taking any like 50 or above hits is probably fine. Yeah. Until we run out of ammo, probably. But yeah, I think we can talk story again. So, Oka has reaffirmed kind of what had been established with what Shapiro was saying, that we are now allowed to have to join the military. We are going to be operating specifically out of the Far East branch, which is where we just were. I'm pretty sure. But we are going to nominally and legally be soldiers. The reason we want to do this is because there's already precedent set for people internal to... Oh, you're gonna keep moving. Okay, that's fine. There's already precedent set for people internal to the Federation that are still opposed to the Titans. So while the Titans don't have like absolute control over things yet, giving us an in as a military organization sort of protects us to continue to operate without there being a lot of repercussions for us. So, I mean, we were basically told by Oka that we kind of have to agree, but Oka so far has largely been a pretty reliable character to us now. So we do assent. Like we do also agree to things. Yeah, I was kind of hoping that didn't kill, so we could have given this to but that's fine. This positioning was kind of bad. We can't attack from here, can we? No. He's going to be in the water either way, so let's go here. That's fine. I guess let's next check the map attack and see how far this gets. This is also a little shy. Okay, that's unfortunate. So the map attack's kind of worthless now. That's fine. Can we transform in a way that matters? Oh, it's at 110 where the transformation happens. Okay, even better. Into animal mode. And these Gelgoog Jays are pretty piddly still too. I think we can probably get a good chunk of the map done this turn. I think. Oh right, yeah, I forgot that you're Augustus. August. Just August. We definitely don't have the morale for that yet. Okay. This will be curious to see where these get separated into. Okay. So we could be pretty goofy about this and try and sort of block off these tiles behind the combattler and sort of force things forward. I don't hate that. I don't hate that idea. Like, one thing we can definitely do with things that separate is we could, like, move 2 of the getter jets here and then recombine down here. It sort of wastes their turn. Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily good right now, but when we have different combination units, trying to keep them next to each other so we could, like, uncombine one, put some of the, like, combine the pieces in ways to force the other pieces where we want them to be. Might be a relevant play. I think in this case that's probably not true, but I think we can still get some use out of where we are, and like still get to recombine into the combattler this turn. You have all of their post movement attacks are just one range. That's probably lethal. Let's try it. They're ahead. Ooh, yikes. Okay. Never mind. Never mind. My mistake. Oh, it's because it's this child who has no melee stats. I was conflating it with yeah, with this guy. I mean, his melee's not even that good either. Oh, but he can attack from here though. We could go 1, 2, 3. Oh wait, no. He needs to move also to still be able to recombine. Right, because if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that 5 here, that's not including the Battle Raft. So this thing would need to move, which we could do here. We are already hurt, so we're probably going to want to heal anyway. It's not going to kill us, so let's do this. Oh, sick, even better. Okay. Yeah, then we could go here. We're going to go to this space. Though we should find someone, if we can, to move in position to let her heal. Like, this is probably reasonable. Because if that didn't kill, we could heal with it, right? The Battle Marine, yeah, can repair. And then the tank goes where Emma is, and then we can still combine into the getter, the combattler. We can still combine into the combattler and like still have a real attack. Let's peek our. Oh, yo, that's great accuracy on Gato. I don't know how much damage we're gonna do, but we're definitely gonna try it. Yeah, with any luck, we can actually like just like take out Gato this turn. Okay. It might require more than luck or more than this turn. You end here, because if you combine that, will consume the turn. But we can, like, look at that. Like, we look at all those extra actions we got from doing that. That's so sick. Yeah, we have an Excel now. We are, and we're not even that hurt. I think we probably just save our healing until we use the Methus after it takes damage from the GPO2, sorry. I forgot we don't have enough morale though. We are 1 and 2 willpowers short, or spirits short. Do we have spirits? We have a spirit. Oh, we have 2 spirits. Okay. Okay, I don't remember if getting a kill or not gives like other pilots morale in this game. So let's find out. This seems fine to me. That's probably gonna kill. Yeah. Okay, are you at 130 now? Yes, you are. Incredible. So we can go here now. We need a bullseye. So much for talking about the story, sorry, but we like actually have things we need to do this turn. I don't think we're gonna bother flashing. We have multiple sets of experience. Let's take the experience buff. Gato has 8,200 HP. I think we probably can kill him this turn. I will save... I do want to save the Combattler for the final kill, though. So let's see if we can get somebody else to do some damage here. You're not doing anything. You could blow up. It's not going to matter, though. Could we get the Grungust? We can get the Grungust involved. I don't know how good that's going to be. Yeah, okay, we're one morale short again, so let's see if we can get another kill, and then we can actually do something with it. Once the game wants to stop freezing. I guess give me time to talk about the story. Do I remember it now? It's been a while since I've read it. I've had to pause this a couple of times to go do some chores. Oh, right, okay. So one of the other primary things we learned from Shinobu is like partially his own philosophy, but like probably a not inaccurate statement that the SDF was founded very expressly to protect the alien technology, not to protect humanity. And that like we need to remember that as we are fighting, that they are not going to come we're not too far away. That they are not going to come to our aid, and their job is that their goal is not to help us fight and win. Their goal is specifically to like not neutral, but their goal is to stay uninvolved if it does not immediately impact the protection of the crashed battleship. I guess we can do this. We can get like its extra attack in. Yeah, we may as well. It's free. Because then we can put like this won't matter, but we can still like recombine. It's still a free attack. We want to get one more kill to get Shinobu. Was it Shinobu? No, we want to get the Grungust. An extra point of morale. We do want to get someone down here with Seema to make sure we can like kill her before she leaves. It is quite possible that we should be upgrading the Getter's energy a little bit. They're pretty energy hungry. I do think we have this Zissad dead when we want it. So let's do that. We can move the battleship in. It can chip here, and then we can see if the core fighter can finish it up. Right, like there, we'll go back 2 spaces to not get attacked. That's interesting that we didn't. Oh, we were gaining accuracy. We were gaining dodge because we were in the leadership bonus. Right? Is there leadership? I just assume I'm used to thinking of that because of being a battleship. Maybe there's no leadership in this game. Never mind. Ignore what I said. Wonder why we lost. Why we didn't. Why they went down from 5 to. Why they down from 6 to 5 instead of to none. Drat. We are kind of 1 unit short here. I was kind of hoping that was going to kill. Okay, we can use the getter, and it just won't use a getter beam. We'll just, like... Yeah, we can just tomahawk instead. That's fine. We probably should have increased our accuracy, because that was kind of important that we landed that. Okay. You are... here. We'll use both spirits for, Brooklyn. Yeah, okay. So, but Shinobu is, like, very... We are learning very rapidly that Shinobu is very distrusting of the powers that be. Which is fine. Brooklyn doesn't immediately trust him because of that, but I think we as the player can pretty comfortably trust him that he is probably on the side of good. Because typically, you know, like, it's anime. More so than just that he's the main character, like a main character of the show. So much of anime's plot is that, like, opposing authority and what is established as rule is not necessarily good. And Shinobu is, like, still espousing that here, which is definitely in favor of him being on the side of characters that I am looking at in the story as, like, moments of us doing something successfully. Oh, right. He does let Spill tell us, make sure that we know. It's not just the one battleship that crashed, but another one, the Excellion, which is a name we should recognize from the Gunbuster section. This is a little risky, but I think I'm willing to do it. We also should not have moved Keith yet when we weren't going to do anything with him when he has a trust we could be spending. Oops, whoops. We have one here. That's fine. Just want to heal up Shinobu to make sure he doesn't die to this. That's good. All right, let's try and hit him here. This does have a Valor on it, so this is, like, a potentially very important attack. And then I think the Combattler could probably finish it. So yeah, the Excellion, which has left already, which we know exists, that was the ship that was attacked, that Banjo referred to as what we played as in the beginning. And also the ship that they are guarding are designed to take people off the planet. Oh, that was with shield defense, we still did that much. Sick. So there is definitely some amount of design on the part of the like establishment. They are aware that leaving is an option, and it's probably a good one. And Shinobu is also very critical of that. That he is looking at a lot of very cowardly people in power who are willing to sacrifice like all of humanity for the sake of like keeping themselves alive. And that is actually probably what the SDF was funded for, was to protect the rich who want to escape the planet. And that like you could describe that as keeping the battleship safe so people don't get access to it. Like that's not an incorrect statement, but it's not like the whole picture of it. So last scenario I said that like maybe one of the questions we could be asking is, has this like quote alien threat actually been here a lot longer? Maybe in the form of like that they have sort of infiltrated some of humanity and they're like trying to return home and are willing to only take the parts of humanity with that they find useful. That is my speculation, not what's happening in the plot. I just want to differentiate because I'm also framing a lot of what I said before as Shinobu speculating. Like, I don't think we can trust him as a like 100% accurate source of information at this point. We spent a lot more than we needed to. That would have just killed. Okay. I trust him, and I trust what he is saying. That he believes that, but I'm not sure he necessarily has. Oh my word! So many levels. And that's also. Oh, you're back. That is also a. Oh right, yeah, because he can't actually die. He has to retreat. That is an expert point for us. Does that make Seema leave? I hope not. I hope we don't have to do her first. Oh, that's just the whole map. I didn't quite clock that. I didn't quite clock that he was the objective. Hold on a second. I don't normally look at these because I don't want to like get spoiled on it, but I did not see that it was like destroy Gato as the objective, because I would have done that differently had I known that. Hold on. No. Oh, that's so lame. That's so lame. So the victory condition was just defeat all enemies. Like, that's such a newbie's trap that the whole of the map retreats. That's why every time I play these games, I'm always like, but who knows what could happen? Because like I'm used to old games like this, where they tell you like, oh, destroy all enemies, that's your objective. But then you defeat like one enemy, you defeat a boss, and then everybody else leaves. I mean, like, I'm fine with it. Like, that's fine. I guess the part that I'm sad about is I did sign up for this map to get an extra. I went this way to get as many expert points as possible. We are missing out on the SEMA one, and it feels a little disappointing to me that SEMA was farther away and thereby harder to get, but less story relevant. Where like Gato was on the move, so I felt like it felt like the game was telling me to fight him more. But if we wanted to make the game harder, we should have ignored what the game was telling us how to interact with it. That just feels weird. Wow, that's an unfortunate hit. I mean, we lived that, but that was such low accuracy. I'll check that again on player phase. I don't remember what it was, but I don't think it was high. Oh yeah, and I did not clock that. That was a miserable. That was a miserable battle. I believe this is the Dragonsaurus, right? Dragon, yeah. Oh, it also has HP regen and energy regen big. Okay. But it's like it's a water monster from Mazinger? Yeah, from Mazinger. Okay, we've got 1 to 7 range and 1 to 3 range. We could potentially eat up all of its energy in a turn. We only need to take 10 attacks, and there's 15 of us. Probably more if we use like other characters too. Yeah, but again, we're out of position here. That's not ideal. Okay, that's fine. Ideally, we can kill it with the getter, so we can get double money. I do want to get the Combattler next to the core booster to get it resupplied. Yeah, I don't think we're killing the Dragonsaurus this turn, but we could next turn. That seems like potential. Okay, we're definitely going to use the beam scythe. Because we also just like haven't seen that yet too, so that'll be good. I don't think we've seen it yet. But we'll look at it now. What else happened? I'll like briefly reread my notes quick while this attack's going on. Oh, right. So, we got word that Jaburo was taken over. So, scratch everything I was saying about Jaburo. That's not going to happen. The Titans who were attacking it were not alone. They were supported by like unknown to us, the player, and like part of the members of our team. Another contingency of mobile suits. They already had run up against Bright and Quattro before we joined up with them. So, namely, it's the Jupitrians, the people from Jupiter. So theoretically, Paptimus Scirocco. and his, well, and I guess just Sarah right now because Rekka was with us. I wonder if we lose Rekka in this game. I don't know. We'll see. That was fun. That was good voice acting. We're not getting damage on this thing done. Hardly at all. I mean, right now, that's fine though. That's surprising. It's a bee in the water, but that's okay. Let's double damage. He's probably not gonna get a kill this turn. So we can also use EXP. Or not this turn, this map. I'm assuming that the Dragonsaurus is probably the last thing we're fighting. Yeah, so we do have another pseudo faction involved. I had noted that the Titans were going to be separated. Because I've seen Zeta Gundam, I sort of expected Shirako and his part of the Titans are not necessarily immediately in agreement with the rest of the originally Federation Titan organization. So I was kind of expecting a split there, but it seems I was a bit preemptive that split was only happening. That instance of the organization is happening now. Though, that said, we're only learning about it now, so perhaps he's been involved a little bit longer than we'd originally seen. Okay, we can do this. We can take the attack. We have plenty of HP to go around. What? I lost my train of thought. I got distracted thinking about, should I be turning animations off at this point? But this video is not actually as long as I think it has been. I've had to, pause it a couple of times. So the recording length I'm seeing is not actually, accurate to what you'll be seeing. Right, so now that Jaburo has been taken over, we are seeing a lot more Zeon interaction and very, deliberately in position where the Titans should be able to respond to it, but haven't been. So it's, more publicly apparent now that the Titans are not doing their job. Where at least in the past, I think we probably still could have seen it as a bit framed, we could have seen that understanding was sort of reserved for people who were in the military. But now that is very demonstrably not the case. Especially considering a major military base has been captured by the Titans. And what? Oh, okay. What's your? I thought you had a good post-movement attack. Oh, but you can't do it underwater. That's why. Okay. Well, you're pretty useless now for the rest of this mission, then. Right? Because this is only going to chip and do 10. Okay, that's fine. But these gems are still good. Is this land or water? That is land. That also, that picture and that tile we're looking at are not the same. It's fine. Okay. We definitely want to dodge there. So we're still going back and forth on and off about this how are Zeon and the Titans cooperating together. Or what does it mean for them to be what does allyship look like for them? Because we are kind of describing things right now as if they are major allies. And I still maintain that's not what we've seen from how they from the extra diegetic perspective of what we get to see as the player. But there's also definitely more military might happening on their side of things. I would like to see a little bit more of the non-military might. I feel like we're amassing a lot of very literal power. And Gundam is very good for it not needing to be like literal firepower. But that's fine for now. Right, because this is not just Gundam. Like physical power is something that is very important. Or like literal power, something that's very important to super shows. So I get why they're like really emphasizing, you know, the destructive force. The fact that like more militaries, more like people with powerful weapons are joining up. Because that's kind of more part of how super shows work. Right? They are the Dragon Ball Z of mecha, kind of. Like very, I know it's a very like I said that very reductively. I don't mean it negatively, just as a shorthand way to get to my point. Okay, so we can stay here for the clay bazooka next turn because the beam rifle doesn't do anything. Beam rifles in this game are pretty miserable. They have V on land and they don't do anything in the water. Okay, we can still whatever the equivalent of rocket punch is. No, we can't. We can't get close. So let's get that set up for next turn. We have, I mean, that's still probably fine, right? It's still like 2100 power. Yeah, like I said, I don't think we're going to be healing it this turn. We just like want to get as much damage in as possible because it's going to regen 30% of its health and it still has question mark health. Yeah, being water-based is making this really obnoxious. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, none of the getters can attack from where they're standing, so I don't think separating them makes any sense. Okay, sorry, I got called away. I know I was like mid-thought, so I won't be able to finish that train of thought. I apologize. But I'm sure it was probably just I think we were talking about the getter. But I don't think it's... Yeah, I think we'll be fine. I want to see what we need to heal with the Methus. Oh, right, this needs to go to the Core Fighter booster, the Core. I forgot we hadn't healed this yet. I guess we could have healed it with a Spirit. So that what I was trying to see is if we could like save Shinobu. We could save the heal for Shinobu in case this attack went poorly. But this probably isn't worth it anyway. That's 1100 power. It's V, so it's 10% less, presumably. Oh no, his range damage is still substantial. That's what, 226, 200, and 273. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so we're like 1.35 times and then 0.9 times. You know, let's try it. Any amount of damage matters. I think we're probably going to do about 1,000. No, probably more like 900. Oh, wow. No, we really did not. Oh, right. Yeah. Because I wasn't even... I was just factoring in... Yeah, I was factoring in just like our damage and scaling that to hitting something in water, not the fact that he like had armor. Oh, that's wild. He healed so much. Okay. That's going to be a problem. Yeah, we've made like practically no progress on him then. He also gives us 50k. I wonder how much we will actually get of that. Okay, we know Slager can survive. I would like to try and end this turn, so let's... That was a weird animation for healing. That felt like that was an animation that was boosting his attack. That's post-movement. Okay. This is still fine because at its worst, it's going to eat up energy. from the Dragonsaurus's attacks. Yeah, okay. Yeah, turns out we just need to like throw literally everything at it. This is fine. We can surely take this hit. Yeah, that's good. I don't know how true that's going to be about the other ones, but that's okay. We really like, as soon as one of these pilots gets a focus, they are going to probably be a pretty significant character for us, because not only can they keep the focus for themselves, like we'll basically get to double dip on the focus. Yeah. Right, you're probably going to heal someone. Yeah, I guess this is just the best action. Yeah, I think we probably have him this turn. Can we... Okay, we can attack here. We actually have a lot of positions where we're still legal to form up. So like, even if someone's positioned here, we could still heal them standing here with the Marine, and that still works. But I do want to... Hold on, let's clear this space for a second. Because we want to get the Combattler in here, but... Or not the Combattler, the Getter in here. But it doesn't have... It doesn't have 130 yet. That's actually a real big problem. Okay. Do we have enough willpower? We've got one here. Darn. Okay. Let's see what other options are for the Getter. No, those are C's. That's awful. Okay. Yeah, had we known the Dragonsaurus was coming, we could have given the Getter some more kills to plan around it better. Okay, so actually the Getter standing here is fine. Then we can move the Combattler in here. Oh, because we resupplied them, they don't have enough morale left. And we don't have enough for another Spirit. Well, that's kind of butts. Okay, we have not this. Is it not usable against water? It's not usable against water. Okay, so it's just the yo-yo. Oh, that's so much worse. Maybe we're not killing it this turn. Good gracious. I was really sort of counting on the spin. Okay, maybe we're going to be here for 2 more. We're going to be here for this turn and next turn. Let's get up close then for now. And we kind of want to take damage, because I'm pretty sure taking damage adds morale. Okay, that's fine. We'll just keep hammering away at it. That'll do. Here. And we're going to use the punches, because the C on our breastfire is going to make that pretty useless. Oh, I suppose we could be using some of our self-destructs. I don't love that, though. So, we will not. Oh, we want to get the Getter in here because we wanted to take damage to try and get to the 300. Yeah, okay. Or sorry, not 300, the 130. I do like that resupplying is a real cost. Okay, this is the first time we're like having... Okay, hold on a second, sorry. Oh, this wasn't... Sorry, okay. This wasn't Spirit. This was Faith. It's what normally is a full heal. We'll have to look at that next turn and see what it is. But resupplying is a like real cost. Oh yeah, this is like the first fight that has not been easy. It's not like actually hard. I don't feel threatened by it. It is just making us take a lot of time. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and like because our progress is not permanent, it's just so much worse. And because so few things are designed to do, like, attacks in the water, we're also, like, barely making progress. How are you? Oh, you're literally 1 point away. That's a shame. Okay. Not sure how much better otherwise it, like, what, I don't know how much better the animal forms are off the top of my head yet. We got 2 more of these. I think we can probably do it next turn. Ooh, yikes. Okay, that's some healing we'll have to manage later. This is fortunately an A. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get his energy down such that we can attack with Shinobu safely up close. Because his 1-range attacks that can hit the air are all energy based. We can also use a game here. It probably won't do a lot, but it'll probably do something. Yeah. Okay, never mind. That is not worth it. This also probably won't do anything. Right, we decided that he doesn't do well in the water, which is not surprising. He's designed for space combat, despite having C's in all of his space. Weird. I mean, it's also not the final version of the GPO one, so okay. Never mind, we were not able to fully drain his energy, largely because we were attacking him from ranges that his 1 to 3 range attack takes a lot more energy. It's still considerable. Like, I don't think he's going to be healing all of that. Yeah, we'll try it. Okay. We still can't see his HP. He's got so much health. Or maybe that's just like a feature of him that we will never see his HP. I can't imagine he is that much. Like, maybe he just has over 5 digits. But I feel like if we're in like yellow health now, that's like obviously less than half. And we've not been doing that much to him. A lot of the damage has been chip. Yeah, I'm curious to see. But he has 18 energy. That's the thing we can see. I want to try and estimate how much large restores. I'm used to it being 30%, but his HP felt like it went up by way more than 30% last time. So he went from 18 to 96. So let's do some quick math there. That is 260 times 0.3 is 78 plus 5 is 83 plus 18 is 101. Okay, so that's not the case. He was 18. I'm thinking energy regen is still 5 a turn, so that's 23 minus 96. So that's, he got 73 back. Divided by 260 that's 28%. Well, that's not right. So how about 260 times 0.3 is 78 plus 18 is 96. Okay, he does not have HP regen. Is there no HP regen in this? Or when you have an HP regen skill, is it just taking a substitutionary? Substitutive. We didn't have max energy there. We do now. Okay, yeah. So it must be that energy regen is treated as a substitute for the 5 you get, rather than additive, like how it is in a lot of other games. We know that wasn't going to do anything. That was primarily to waste energy. I will have the Methus fly back here preemptively. That's fine. Yeah, that's what we want. Okay. Right, we're still at 126. We're not actually, like, building momentum at all because we're not, like, getting kills or landing hits. Okay. I guess this fight is just supposed to take a long time. That did nothing. Was I not paying attention? Was that a C? That was a C. Okay, that's my bad. Okay. Yeah, the fact that landing a hit doesn't increase your morale is rough. Okay. we got hit. That's only increasing it by 1. Okay. Oh, we also weren't supposed to go with the Combattler yet. That was definitely a misplay. That was me trying to rush, thinking I could end quickly, but I think it's gonna cost us the ability to finish. I don't think we're gonna finish this turn anyway. This is grueling. Okay, well, I guess this is like a good question for the team. How did y'all do this section then? Was it just like, oh yeah, no, this part's a slog? Like, am I missing something here? Or is it just that, like, this, actually, hold on. This probably wouldn't be taking nearly as much time if the Combattler was not in the position that it was where it lost its morale. If we had that, we would be doing pretty good numbers. So I accept that was like maybe, you know, that was maybe on me a little bit. But if not the Combattler, or like maybe the Getter, what was what was the plan? Okay, well, we've gotten out of energy now. Oh yeah, this is also like kind of real damage. I feel like we did not make as much progress as we did last time. I guess we got it down to yellow before. Okay. I mean, literally anything helps, so... Oh no, they have to be a melee. I mean, I guess let's just like show this off, because I'm pretty sure this will only do 10. Well, it... That's interesting. Are crits 50% in this game? I did say that I thought we were critting for a lot more. Crits might be 50% in this game. But are there like any damage things that I'm missing here? I do have him surrounded in the hopes that that was increasing damage by 10%. I know that happens in other games. Yeah, he just recovers so much each time. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, is that a game over? That'd be a really disappointing if that was a game over at this point. No, okay, we're fine. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Let's get you back over to the Big Moth to restore its guns, because those are like actually putting some serious work in. That was mostly to drop his energy. At this point, I do think we're gonna self-destruct, and we're just going to save said self-destruct for when we are like actually close to getting him to lethal. Please, like we kind of need to take hits. Yeah, there we go. 128. Oh, I was gonna say, like, how did they get extra morale? But they saw one of their allies die, and that usually gives people morale. Are there personalities in this game? I'm curious. We will restore some HP. That'll be fine. Okay, the Getter is now online. We now can start doing serious damage with it. Turns out we are going to be here so much longer than I thought. But like we didn't bring the whole team with, so I guess I'm curious if there was a water-based unit that I just like did not think to bring. Or that we just like haven't been using. Because this is hung and miserable. I think these trips of 10 damage probably just aren't worth it to like speed things up. I think we're going to generally ignore those now. We're only doing 700 out of this. I think of potential also. No? Okay. Interest. I feel like that was doing like 1,000 sub odd before. Maybe we crit before. Or maybe there's also just like natively a sliding scale amount of Okay, who else is hurt? This is, we can heal it with the Methus by moving out of the way. But maybe we were talking about the story. Yeah, so before I left, M'Quve is partially responsible for the Dragonsaurus showing up. That he like acknowledged that he had it sort of like in his back pocket, ready to be used in this situation. So we are seeing that the Zeon and Dr. Hell are still like by some measure cooperating. So I'm glad we're like pulling that through. I'm glad we're pulling that through into now too. All right, you need to separate first. It's not separating, but that's fine. To get like this into, we should run it out of its energy first. That's also not that. We're running out of abilities to dodge with the Ground Gust. It's defensive though. We probably will be fine. It'll probably be fine. Oh, you know, that's also not running out of energy because it's not. It's just using its close range attack. Then we need to do like these. Yeah. But it does feel like every time we're like away from a story beat for a minute, and it's just starting to be like, are we going to get back to that? We are readdressing it, which is like that's good writing. That's like the good. That is making sure things are paced well. That we're continuing to think about the questions that we are opening up, but in a way that does not feel it doesn't feel forced to me. It feels pretty natural. It was sort of I figured it was sort of we were kind of do it with how much water space, with how many water areas we were facing. I think we were kind of due having some like very specific water enemies. I'm surprised we didn't see more Zeon water mobile suits. And like maybe they just aren't in the game. I feel like they seldom get to be in the game because they show up for like very few episodes. I'm always curious. Like I would like to know what this thing is. Like I probably need to just like watch Mazinger to find out. It seems like it's a machine, but it looks very organic. I would have hoped to see M'Quve sort of comment on like how and why he is using it. He's like a driller. He's a miner. He's like an oil baron kind of character. So like, why does he have this? And I feel like you could do it for like deep sea digging, like underwater mining. I feel like that's like a fair potential for him to use to use the Dragonsaurus. Okay, there we go. Here's some free damage. Sweet. And at least as far as my translation is concerned, we did not get that. But unfortunately for the nature of how this is set up right now, we have really important plot elements that are happening. They're just after this scenario, so I don't really have the ability to like. Well, we don't have the ability to talk about them right now. I mean, I guess I could say it, but we're definitely getting there now because of that. Yeah. So it turns out we're going to be here for forever. No, it did just have a ton of HP, 28,000. Golly. I do wonder if I also sort of like hemmed myself in. Like maybe the answer was just like pulling it out of the water. I guess we could try that. Hold on, let's see if we can get it out of the water. That would save us a lot of trouble. I think at this point, it's like maybe a little late. It's just the duo wasn't doing anything anyway. No, I think we can probably finish it this turn. We're actually seeing its HP now, where we have not been able to do that before. I think, if not this turn, next. But I'm hopeful. Oh, that's such a meaningless action. Okay. You are healthy enough to make this attack safely. It must be getting extra armor as it's losing HP, even if potential isn't here. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm being such an idiot about this. What a ditzy commentary. Like, that's probably from hard mode, right? All of this is probably from hard mode. This is what I get for trying to opt into extra difficulty. So is it just that like is this like one of the first formations of how we see potential in the modern day? That here it has this like perpetual scaling. That there is an item, or not an item, there's a skill that gives you potential. The like 50, the big 50 split. But what we know as potential now is also being represented here as this like secret passive that's held by enemies because of the difficulty modifier. I wonder if it's a case. Okay, we have one more attack, and then we are free to attack it with the combattler pieces. So I guess let's just go like here. Yeah, great. I don't even know if I actually don't know if it's going to be enough this time. Gracious. Yeah, okay. We are kind of still like stuck here and committed, so it's like really hard to lure it out of the water because it's probably going to attack one of the other things that's here. So I guess if we're not killing it this turn, I will try and lure it out of the water just to like get this over with. We did 4,000 to it before. You know, I think let's risk it. So I really want to use a fortune on it. Is the thing. Let's get some massive EXP from healing here. Oh. Only one level. Okay. I was sort of hoping we were going to like maybe jump a level or two. But... Okay. Let's turn this on with the hopes that this is going to be lethal. We just don't have a Valor on the Getter team yet. Yeah, as soon as they get a Valor, this also solves the problem. Like maybe I'm also like one level away from a Valor, and like if y'all use the Getter more consistently, then you might have this problem solved. But I am really curious how people dealt with this one. I would like to do that a little bit more, like talking about how we clear maps. I know it's not as big of a priority for probably a lot of you as it is for me, but I think it's still a worthwhile conversation. Sick. Okay, great. Well, that did the same amount of... Okay. That did the same amount of damage between last turn and this turn also. Like, when we countered with it, we did 40-48. And we just did 40-48 there. Oh, my word. We got 16,000? That got cut... That was at 50K, and that got cut down to 8K. What is happening? Like, I know it's hard, but I'm just like I'm curious how it worked out. Okay, so here's the major plot point. After this brief musical interlude. Alright, this is Valletta. She's definitely an original character. She seems to be in charge of the Arrogators. And I think there were some Zaku's that were with her yet too. Were they? Hold on, I clicked through that too quickly. They look a little bit like Zaku, so maybe that's like by design. Maybe they are technically an Arrogator, and they're just designed to look like a Zaku. But I was curious what he was going to deploy in. So Sarah and Shapiro have entered the battlefield, and Shapiro is here because he is interested in what Valletta is selling. He thinks that he can infiltrate the alien nation and control them from the inside because he believes he deserves to rule all of outer space. This was the thing I was referring to last scenario, and we kind of like fired on that way faster than I was expecting we were going to. I have some thoughts about that, but we'll get through like the immediate plot right now. So I'm curious if this is true. So my translation says it seems like he hasn't learned his lesson from the original Super Robot Wars series. For what I thought this was the beginning of the continuity here. But let me know if this is actually related to other games or if this is the first one. I think we talked about before when I was like thinking about original characters. That I was told that this was the like beginning of the Alpha continuity, and maybe this is just like a cheeky nod to previous games. So because Sarah is sort of obsessed with Shapiro in the way that I would say the Sarah of Zeta Gundam is kind of obsessed with Shirako. I don't think it's by accident. Those names work together really well. She was planning on defecting with him, but she didn't then get a change of heart. Her robot kind of got a mind of its own. The description is that the verniers, like one of the verniers stopped working, and then she just like could not catch up. She could not keep up with them as they were leaving. But we've already had Shinobu describe the Dankugar as like drawing out people's latent wild instinct, like their like want for humanity. And like clearly this move is a betrayal of humanity as far as the game's perspective is concerned. That like I don't know what like species Valletta is, whether she is alien or she is a human, or if they're like if we're actually going to draw that difference. But at the very least, the alien is directly opposed to humanity right now. So to side with the alien is to oppose humanity. So if the Dankugar is like drawing out humanity, maybe this wasn't quite just like a mechanical mishap. It wasn't quite as much a mechanical mishap as the like cutscene was immediately describing it as, that like there was some part of the Land Cougar that knew Sarah needed to stay on Earth in order to try and protect it. I'm curious to see if we get some like autonomy on behalf of the Dankugar. And that would like parallel really well with Akira in the Raideen that was like speaking to him. Maybe there will be like a quintet of like the like 5 different like senses, organs, operations that we have like that this one's very tactile as opposed to the Raideen that is like voice and communicative. I don't know how you do that with like smell, but you can probably, yeah, like smell and taste probably don't work as well. Maybe taste you could do taste blood is a common phrase. Like maybe we'll have the EVA units do that. But I'm curious if we'll like follow up on this sort of like robots acting on behalf of their pilots in order to like sort of nudge their pilots in the right direction. And I like the way that is intersecting. Like I don't think that's outside the realm of how the rest of their series are originally working. But I like the way that's going to intersect and how that's going to like add the conversation, right? Like how I was just able to like compare the Raideen and the Dankugar. I wonder if the game is going to like actually acknowledge that. Here we are given the opportunity to start making some records about everything that has happened. A number of people on the crew note how abnormal it is, how much stuff has happened around them, which I love. There is so much of anime that's like things just keep happening at the protagonist or the protagonist group, and everyone's just like, this is perfectly normal. It's like, no, this is like really weird. We're like not acknowledging how lucky is maybe not quite the right word, Like, a lot of things are falling into place for characters that are not necessarily very like direct or very logical things for it to happen. Um, I think I said something about this at the beginning of the playthrough, that a couple of groups are showing up at like really convenient times when other groups are taking activity. And I hope that's not just like, well, they just happen to show up at the right time, because I feel like a lot of plot can do that. But it sounds like the game is going to kind of address that. And they all seem pretty well acknowledging the fact that this is related still to the satellite, or the spaceship crashing, which makes sense. Everything is sort of connected back to that. But I at least appreciate that the game, this is maybe a little bit more telling than showing, but I at least appreciate that the game is acknowledging, it wants its characters to acknowledge that fact. I think sometimes it's very easy also for like, one of the things I hate, especially about like anime game plots, is when characters are surprised, like, what? This battle, this spaceship that everyone's trying to protect and people are trying to like get information about it is connected to why we're all having these events, right? Like you know the kind of thing. So it's greatly appreciated that we are not doing that. But we are asked a question about whether or not we would like to help participate in like writing out this like story. I've not usually talked about like specifically the kanji translation, but I think it is very interesting that, so if you see the first three kanji for both these options, because they're the same, this is yes and this is no. It is not, I don't think it's not one-to-one here, but it is specifically the phrase that is the like 100 ghost stories that you tell around in a circle, specific, like usually especially about yokai. But it is not just like, they're not asking Brooklyn to write down a story. The kanji to me implies an amount of like collectivity, that this is a communal process, which is good, right? It's a crossover. We have a lot of different people who are all supposed to be like really major players for their series, or in our case, like their corner of the world. So having it like specifically deliberately using, there's a couple ways they could have written it, and having them write it as this is a collective that we are all, or this is a collective narrative we are all trying to create, is, I think, very good. In the meantime, because Sarah wanted to defect, we are throwing her in the brig, which is to be expected. And the Denkugar group is like obviously having some falling out, because like there's a lot of emotional tension going on there, trying to like make sense out of a person that they thought they could trust. In the meantime, we've had a conversation with Oka, who let us know that we can go back to we should go back to the Far East base. Far East. Oh, let's take that sentence again. It sounds like we have talked to Oka, or at the very least, we are going to talk to him about what to be done with Sarah, and that we are now going to return to the Far East base. I did forget to mention this, which is a shame because we had plenty of time to talk about it, that there are a number of bases we mentioned. I listed them off earlier on. I don't remember what they all were now. But one of them is also actively radio silent right now after the attacks on Jaburo. So presumably, if they were not attacked, they maybe like willingly surrendered and went along with things, but they're definitely a resource that we don't have. That said, we are about to get a communication from a character that I mentioned earlier, Hayato, not the one we have on screen, but the one from Gundam. And he is right now working with Americans, and we are going to head over there to support, like, to gather more like momentum with the anti-Titan sentiment that's happening there right now. This choice feels a little weird because we were asked if we could write down the events, but now we're asking whether we think what is happening is a coincidence or not. I don't know what these choices are going to produce, and I don't want to know in the comments. If I'm missing something really big making this choice, just let me know that I am missing something really big. I don't necessarily want to know what it is that I missed quite yet. But I think Brooklyn is somewhat suspicious of the experience he had receiving the Grungust. So I think he is probably going to be of the mind to want to try and like correlate a lot of these events. He seems to at least kind of know what's up, or is like trying to figure out what's up. So I would like to believe that he imagines there is probably some correlation between what's going on. And given what I said a little bit earlier, I also just like it when my protagonists who are experiencing the world can synthesize information. And I think at this point, it would be pretty hard to convince me that there wasn't some amount of deliberate action that was happening here. Yeah, so this is the part where we're talking about like connecting up with another group of people that we know in the form of Hayato. So of course the Gundam pilots are talking about it because this is going to, you know, connect us to the like rest of the Gundam principal cast and presumably to Amuro. He's not here. At this point in Zeta Gundam, he would be under house arrest. So I don't know if that is a thing that is happening, but I feel if we put the new Gundam in, at least the first one I played 2, the new Gundam's probably here. So I wonder if we're gonna like have this like really weird out of time. Everybody else is in Zeta Gundam and he's like in Londo Bell. That's the organization from Char's Counterattack. That would be interesting. What else? Yeah, he just says we're going to meet someone, which is probably Amuro. That's mostly it for the ending. We are being left on some like immediate questions. I'm curious how we're going to resolve this. Of like Hayato's message feels very impending. Like we kind of need to go deal with this like now. We're going to America because the Titans are attacking now. There is extra pressure from people who are anti-Titan now. But we also do kind of really need to deal with Sarah. Like, it is actively very detrimental for us if there is someone on board who is willing to betray us at any time. I think this is probably fine. I think it spends our money the best. And we kind of need to return to the Far East base anyway, because like that is technically where we're stationed. If we are part of the military now, we theoretically need to get leave, or like we probably don't need to get orders. But we at least like probably should be reporting back to where our like main base of operations is. And you know, Shapiro he seemed paired with Cowan. So we like probably need to go tell him that like, hi, this person who's like, I don't know what his role is, maybe he's a general. But you know, you probably should know that he is not on the up and up. That this man that we trusted on a, you know, pretty significant he was in charge of a program that was designed to fight the aliens. Like, that's a lot of information that just got leaked. It's not just that a military general, someone we trusted, not only has joined the aliens and wants to rule all of space, but like he is someone who was helping research and knows about our anti-alien measures. Like, that is perhaps one of the largest possible threats to betray us that there could have been. So we like really need to arm the people that we know are trustworthy. Though I think we maybe would have good reason to start asking more questions about the people who are in charge of these organizations. Like, you know, we've seen one betray us now. Shu and Ingram are at least like maybe untrustworthy a little bit. I don't know if we're gonna believe the next group. Like, I don't know if we should believe the next group of people who are like designing robots to fight the aliens, or at least the people who are like in charge of managing them. We have another booster now. We still don't have enough boosters yet to like make the Combattler pieces do what I want them to do. We are kind of using Shinobu, and giving him an extra movement might not be a bad thing. I just don't know who else wants the extra movement at this point. Like, the Methus Normally, I tend to put my boosters on or like healers, but repairers. Repairers was the word I was looking for. But the Methus already has so much move. Like, she's never quite missed getting to someone that we need to have healing. We could put it on the Argama. We are like actually using the Argama to drop a lot of units around. Like, that could actually make a difference. I don't hate that. Yeah, let's do that for now. And we also have the biosensor, which we need to put on somebody that's dodgy. We could put that on Shinobu. He is the one that died last time, and we don't have... And yeah, at least for right now, we don't have any good ways of giving them the ability to dodge, because they will eventually not... That's not really what their job is. Did something... I thought... I thought I saw something else moving. I thought I saw the movement change, too. I was like, what? Hold on. We gotta go back and check that. And it's not that this is permanent, right? Like, once we can combine it to the Cougar, we can take this off. What else do we have? We have a propellant tank Essence repair kit. Oh, it must be in GC that we have the SP restore. I was thinking maybe it might be worthwhile to keep one of the SP restoring parts on the Combattler in case we need to like jump up that willpower again, or that morale again. Because gracious, if we had the spin, that would have gone so much faster. That thing packs a really big punch. Yeah. And actually, speaking of, it's not the spot either. Here. Speaking of not taking out the Dragonsaurus faster, it probably would help if I like upgraded some weapons too. If people have been upgrading weapons, that will probably make that way more manageable. But the weapon upgrades are so expensive though. Like, I'm not sure how worth it they are when... I said this a couple of times with R. Like, I don't know how worth it they are when... If you're attacking and the attack kills something in 2 hits, and you increase its damage such that the 2 hits you're doing to kill it are bigger, but you still need 2 hits, like... that wasn't actually worth it. That was a waste of your money. And I don't know if we're yet at the point where we have a lot of these stacking effects. I don't think we do, but like in those games, like in something like Y, and definitely earlier than Y, but in something like Y, any amount of increase will matter because you actually have so many more being carried through multiplicatives. Where here, it maybe is worthwhile on someone like the Mazinger or on like the Dankugar, because it's also going to have an effect similar to the Mazingers where they will get extra, just like a massive percentage increase of damage. Or if we can find someone who can crit consistently, because I'm pretty, like, we saw that we would do 10. 10 is the normal amount of chip you would do if you're attacking something in the water. You don't have a terrain benefit for it. But we hit for 15. That is... We should have hit for 12 if the crit was normally how it worked, which is a 25% chance to crit, or 25% increase. So that's a 50% increase, and like a 50% increase that's pretty big for these games. So if we can find someone who can crit consistently, that also might be worthwhile to increase the damage. Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of like small nuanced decisions that do feel like they are going to add up here. But not knowing the game well enough yet is making it hard, especially because, right, like there is a difference here. There is a difference there. But we can figure that out in time. But for now, I will let you go. This is going to be a long episode. I'm not sure how long it's going to be because I had to like pause. I had to go take care of some errands. So apology, this is like a particularly long one. You're a real champion for making it to the end. I really appreciate it. I hope my little beat on the story at the end there was worthwhile. I feel like I said more than I interpreted, but you know, we're definitely still at the lining up the dominoes stage of things. I'm a little disappointed that, oh yeah, I forgot to say this earlier. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed that we had the pull on the Shapiro plot already. I was kind of expecting that to be a slower burn. I am a little worried that we're doing that. We've done that a couple of times now, where we open up a question or we like have this sort of lingering thought, right? We haven't enough time to like stew over the fact that like, is Shapiro really trustworthy? You know, he was pretty abrasive with the irrigator data. And like, if you know the plot, you know he's going to. If you know the plot of his original show, you know he's going to. But for people like like, I've not seen Don Cougar. I just know that because I've seen what happens with him in other games. You know, I think we could have let that stew for even like 1 or 2 more scenarios, right? Like let that happen at the route split unification, maybe. So hopefully we will let questions linger a little bit longer. I definitely think that's a small dock against this game right now, is that we're at chapter 12 and we are still doing this like reveal the question, immediately answer, reveal the question, immediately answer it. But we do have like there are still long-term questions. I think it's just maybe better. We should be answering a question we should probably be answering something every scenario. Definitely reveal something, ask a question every scenario, and probably reveal something to us every scenario. I think we're at the point where maybe we can start revealing a little bit. We can start revealing like a third of an answer to a question we asked during scenario 1 or 2. You know, I think we can like delay some of these a little bit. Sorry to end on a little bit of a downer, but that is what's going to happen if I'm like want to try and be like really thorough and thought through. If I want to be really thorough and think through what's happening with these stories. Good gracious, I've been doing this for too long. I got to go to bed. I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you so much again for watching, especially if you stuck it through to the end. I really appreciate you. There is a whole bevy of other content going on. So go ahead and check out some of the other playthroughs. We're kind of like right in around this spot for a lot of other things we're doing too. And as I offer at the end of pretty much all these videos, if you want to see some like more nuts and bolts about this game, or like have specific questions about a scenario, let me know. I will happily cover that. But I will leave you with that for now. Hopefully I'll see you back here in another VOD or live. But enjoy the rest of your evening, make meaning out of the rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.